Hello, BookTube. It's Sunday evening. It's getting late here now in the UK. The weekend has drawn to close, so I'd like to come to you with some ghostly tales. Um, if you've been following my channel, but there are some, there's actually quite a few new subscribers over the weekend, so they might not be aware. But October for me is Ghost Month. It's when I read ghost stories, short stories, that is. And I've been reading them since the 1st of October. And I'm rereading for the third time, and R.M.R. James's ghost stories. And I'm reading one per day. And I'm reading other ones, and I'm reading stories. I'm reading books about ghost stories and ghosts in culture. I've got a number of those to read. But also every year, like I've got a collection of short story collections, and I have shown the Virago. There's 3 volumes of Virago short story collections, and there's a newer version as well. There's the 3 Oxford University Press ones, and the one I thoroughly enjoy is the Victorian ghost stories edited by Michael Cox. And well, they're all 3 are edited by Michael Cox. 2 of them are by with a co-editor. But he also did just English ghost stories, and then there's 20th century ghost stories. And also adjunct to that is about 3 or 4 years ago, a really good publisher, their small publisher called Valancourt Press. If anybody is interested in Gothic fiction and sort of rare Gothic stories, do check them out. I do say so because, but also they do stuff from Penny Dreadfuls as well. They've got a few fabulous items there. But over the last few years, they've been putting out pretty well yearly a collection of Christmas Victorian ghost stories. It's a combination of ones that have been reprinted, but also new ones, or new Victorian stories that have not been reprinted. So that's fabulous. I've got 3 of the volumes. I don't have them here. I'm going to show you a stack that I've sort of have nearby me here that I've been reading, along with everything else that I've been reading over the couple weeks. But yeah, and then the 4th volume of this has come out, and in both hardcover and paperback. But I'm waiting for the hardcover to show up online so I can buy that so it matches the others. But yeah, I've got a stack here of about 7 hardcovers here. 2 that came today, and I'll show those, but a few that I bought recently. I've actually bought 4 new ones, like new hardcover ones. A little more than I normally do, but the 2 that came today were extras, and I wasn't expecting it. But this is one of the newer ones that I got a couple weeks ago. It's called Ghost Stories, Classic Tales of Horror and Suspense. It's edited by Lisa Morton and Leslie S. Klinger. Lisa Morton is she's a fabulous editor and author herself. I've got on my TBR a book about cultural history of ghosts by her, and also she's done a history of Halloween, which I'm looking forward to getting to. Hopefully both those. And this has more or less the same reprints of most of the same items, but it's got a few ballads in, I believe, here, and a few oddities that it isn't. And it has a really good introduction written by both. And this was published 2019. It says First Pegasus Books Cloth Edition, April 2019. This is not cloth, but they generally call hardcover cloth, even though it's not cloth anymore. So it's Pegasus Books, and I've read a couple of those, or reread items, so it's nice to have that. This one I got today, and this one is quite nice. You see the way the light flickers off the gold. It's called Ghostly, and it's edited and illustrated by Audrey Neffinger. I have never read anything by her before, but other books are I am familiar with the Time Traveler's Wife, that's by her. And I think a night bookmobile I've heard of. There's some I might check out. And this is by Vintage, which is published by it's Penguin Random House. And this was done 2015. So it's a few years old, but it's got a lot of the same ones, but there's also there's a Ray Bradbury one here, the August 2026, There Will Come Soft Rains. Stretching a little bit, I think that it's haunted, a ghost story, but it's still a good ghost story. But it's got a P.G. Wodehouse story that I don't remember the story, so I don't remember it as a ghost story. So it'll be a nice, I'm sure, reread, or if not, it'll be something new. There's Neil Gaiman here. So there's A.S. Byatt, A.M. Burrage. There's a couple stories by Saki. That's H.H. Munro. He's fabulous short story comic writer. And again, I'm not familiar with those. I haven't read all his material, but this was a nice addition that I've added. Actually, I've added, I think 4 or 5. Anyway, yeah, the next 2 I've added as well, and then there's a third one. So it's 3. Yeah, I've actually added 5, more than I usually do. But this year, I got a couple weeks ago. Many are familiar with this, and in comments, people have said that they've liked The Woman in Black, and it keeps coming up in my reading about science ghost stories. So I thought I'd get it. I was going to buy it by itself, but then there's this one that was really, really cheap. It's about half price of a paperback, and the hardcover, and it's got some of our other ones in Dolly, The Man in the Picture, Printer's Devil's Court, and the Small Hand, and each of those are published separately as hardcovers as well, but they're each about, I think, £10 each. And this one, as I say, was less than £4 that I got it. It's one of those times where Amazon drops prices and then goes back up after you buy it, if you're lucky enough to get it. And this was done in, looks like 2015, this edition by Profile Books. So I'm not sure if I'll be getting to this year, but I am glad to get it and to add it to my collection, and for further reading. And this one I've been wanting for a couple of years, and I'm definitely going to be getting to this, or at least some of them. It's 8 ghosts. It's English Heritage. It's the English Heritage Book of New Ghost Stories. And they're all, there's some authors that I'm aware of that I like, and some that I've heard, I know the authors, but I've never read anything by them. But it's Mark Haddon, Jeanette Winterston, Sarah Perry, Andrew Michael Hurley, Stuart Evers, Camilla Shamisi, Kate Clancy, and Max Porter. And they're all they're based on English heritage sites. And they wrote stories specifically for this volume, and it says here, by buying this book, you are helping us to carry out vital conservation work at our sites across the country so that they can continue to inspire storytellers and ghost hunters for generations to come. Thank you for your support. And it's published by September Books, or September Publishing. Not that familiar with them. I don't know if they're subsidiary. So I look forward to this. One that I've had for a number of years now, because I've been reading ghost stories for all my life pretty well, but I think it's probably within the last 5 years that I've made a habit of specifically holding October to read. And sometimes I only read a little bit, and sometimes I read a lot more, and I want to spend the whole month basically reading it and reading some other stuff as well. But and I mostly concentrated on Victorian ghost stories, but I think I've exhausted most published or reprinted ghost stories from the Victorian era. It doesn't mean that that's all there is. There's many more, but they're hard to find. And as I mentioned, there is that the Valancourt Press that has these 4 volumes. They call them Christmas Victorian ghost stories. but every year or every volume has ones that haven't been really published much before or republished at all. So that's really nice. They're really nice to do that. But because of that, I picked up this a couple years ago, and I've been dipping in and out of it ever since. It's called Ghosts, chosen by Louise Welsh, and she's an author, and well, it says 7 novels here, and she's also did other editing as well. This is published by Head of Zeus. 2000, I would like to say 15. Yeah, 2015. And it's got your typical older ones. It's even got Pliny the Younger. The haunted houses, all of the letter or part of the letter. And it goes through sort of chronologically, and a lot of the stuff is the same, like Bram Stoker, Dracula's guest. But it comes right up to the newest stuff. Sorry, there's a bit of fluff or something in here, and I want to get rid of it. So it's got Faye Weldon, Joanne Rush, Adam Merrick, Ben Okri, Jackie Kay, Annie Prolox, Lydia Davis, Haruki Murakami, Kate Atkinson, Ali Smith, Phyllis Alicia Perry, Kelly Link, Hilary Mantel, Joyce Carol Oates, Kazu Ishiguro, Angela Carter, Margaret Atwood, Tim O'Brien, Louise Eldridge, Truman Capote, John Reese, Ruth Rendell, J.G. Ballard, Stephen King, Tove Johnson, and on and on. So that was the main reason why I got this. I got it extremely cheap. Again, I think it was only a couple pounds at my bookstore. It's got some tears. It's a little rough, bumped. I think it's bumped there too, but no, it's not. It's just the jacket's all creased and torn a bit. But hey, I'm happy with this, very much so. Another one that came today was another vintage classic, like the Ghosts one by the Audrey Neffinger. And this one has the usual, but I really love the cover. I like the way the light flickers off that. And again, these were very, very cheap. So I decided to order them. And there's a few that I'm not quite familiar with, I don't think. But it's just nice to have. Yeah, it's got an Arthur Quiller Couch in here. And I do like him as a writer. I like his essays on sort of how to read or whatever, and to write about writing essays. He's a acquired taste. His phraseology is a bit daunting, but once you get to know his writing, he's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to his ghost story in here. And I knew he did some, but I'd like to get a complete collection, I think, of his. So that was nice. Yeah, it was cover price of $14.99, and again, I think I got it for under £5 or £6. So I thought I'd grab it. Another one that I've had for a while, and I picked up at my local bookshop. It's called Classics Ghost Stories, a collection of chilling supernatural tales. It's quite a hefty book. It's by Arcturus. Yeah, it's Arcturus Press. It's edited by Robin Brockman, published 2016. There's nothing special in here for these, and it's not even, there's no editing in the sense of extra material. So it's something that I may or may not keep, because I think I've got pretty well everything else in other collections, so it's hard to say, but I've had that for some time, and as I said, it was so cheap. It was only £2, I think, like the other one. Probably got them at the same time. But yeah, there's my sort of collection. It's not all of them, of ghost stories, and I thought I'd just sort of update what I got today, with showing some other ones. And do please, if anybody knows anybody who's contemporary writers or anybody in the 20th century, like say post 1930, that has written ghost stories or collections of ghost stories, I would love to know. Please let me know in the comments below, because I am interested in having more, because like these won't last me very long, because like I say, there's a lot of it that I've reread. I don't mind rereading, but I am running out of ghost stories to read. I would say if I don't get anything new, probably in a year or two, 2 more Octobers, I'm gonna read everything I have, and I'll be rereading stuff. So I would love to dip into newer ones that I don't know about, whether they be brand new ones, but they must be short story mostly, not too thrilled by novels. There is one novel I want to get to read is Peter Straub's Ghost Story. I enjoyed the book and I enjoyed the film with the dancer from sort of classical Hollywood. I can't think of his name now. But anyway, it was a good film as well. Different from the book, but I enjoyed it. So I would like to reread that at some point. But as I say, if you know short story ghost story writers, then do please let me know in the comments. Take care, BookTube. Bye.